Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new, please consider subscribing. My name is Yari and I'm a licensed educator who creates educational videos for beauty professionals in training and those who like to continue learning. This video will focus on information for the Texas Cosmetology practical exam, starting with pre-examination setup and disinfection, followed by monomer polymer over tip and blood exposure incident. If you find the information helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who you believe who could find this information useful in preparing for their state exam. Before we start, let's discuss some important information. On the day of the exam, be sure to arrive 30 minutes prior to your scheduled appointment time. This will allow for time for sign-in and identification verification. Please be sure to not have any type of conversation, any kind of communication with other candidates that are taking the test there with you the same day. If you arrive late or do not appear to be in the appropriate attire, you will not be admitted to the examination site and you will forfeit your examination fee. So you guys, be sure to dress appropriately. I always advise students to consider wearing all black. If you have scrubs, feel free to wear scrubs. And for sure, this is an absolute must. You must wear closed-toe shoes. Now, next, this is extremely important. You want to be sure that you guys have the proper ID. Okay, you want to make sure that your ID or driver's license is not expired or you will be turned away. The ID must be a valid form of government issue ID, such as a driver's license, state ID, or a passport book. Okay, the ID that you take with you must have, of course, your full printed name, your photo, a signature or a fingerprint, your date of birth, and an expiration date. Okay, if you are not sure if you have the proper ID, I highly recommend that you give them a call first to verify. Next, this is something that students come across with a lot, and that is you showing up with an ID that does not match the exact name that TDLR has you registered under. So if you now, have a different last name due to marriage or whatever the case may be, you need to be sure that you get that taken care of first prior to taking your test. The name that they have for you must match the ID that you take with you the day of the exam, or else you will be turned away. A day prior to the test, be sure that you have everything you need inside of your kit, and please do not forget your mannequin. If your mannequin fits inside of your duffel bag, be sure to just try to put your mannequin in there or put it somewhere where you will not forget to take it with you. Once you have gone through registration, they will most likely take everyone into the testing stations and assign you to a station. Listen for instructions and follow them. Do as they say, you guys. Be attentive and focus on your working station only. Do not focus on others working around you, behind you, or next to you. This makes it appear as if you are cheating and can lead to loss of points, and we do not want that to happen. And of course, a quick disclaimer, I am not affiliated with PSI or TDLR in any way. This video is intended for review purpose only, to give you guys a visual. The videos are far from perfect, but you guys remember that practice is extremely important. These videos are not meant to replace any type of teaching from a licensed facility. Now, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments down below if you found the information helpful. I want to wish all of you guys the best of luck on your test. I know everything will be well. Now let's get started. Before we start the actual test, I want to show you what my duffel bag, my Texas Cosmetology kit looks like. Now, in a separate video, I do have a rundown of what is inside of each and every bag for this test. So if you are interested in creating your own kit, you can check that video out. But in the meantime, I do want to show you what the duffel bag looks like, and it looks like this. It is a large bag, and I do want to point out that it is 30 inches long. And so all the bags along with the mannequin, everything fits nice and comfortable inside of this kit. Now, mind you, and for you guys to not forget to be sure to label the outside of your bag. Now, your bag does not need to look exactly like mine, but just to give you a quick reference, okay? Now, everyone must label their duffel bag as pre-sanitized implements around the bag, or also have the word clean on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. I know the lighting is a little off, but it says clean on this side. It has pre-sanitized in the front. I also have it labeled on the other side. And that's exactly what they want to see. So that's what we are going to do. Now, I want to remind you that the day of the exam, your kit is going to be on the floor. So please be sure to organize your bags inside of the kit in the order that you will use them. Now remember, each bag will have the name of the section that you will be working on, okay? But you are not allowed to do anything else additional besides labeling the bag and having them in order inside of the kit. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to have my bag sitting next to me on top of a chair. But like I said, the day of the test, your kit will be on the floor. Be sure to listen for instructions from the rater. Before you even start the test, it may be that they have you take out your mannequin for it to be inspected. You do just that. They may also have you take out the monomer liquid and all of that to be inspected. So again, you guys, listen for instructions. It is completely normal to be nervous. Everyone is nervous the day of the exam. Just be attentive and do as they say and try to calm yourself down. And a day before the exam, I recommend that you go through your kit and check to make sure that you have everything that you need for the day of the exam. Don't forget to throw your mannequin in the bag if it fits. Many of you ask me, what if my mannequin does not fit in my kit? That is fine. You can just carry it inside with you. Do not overthink this test. Everything will be good and you'll be licensed in no time. If you made it this far, you're pretty much at the finish line. Be very happy and proud of yourself to have made it this far. And this is it, you guys. This is the final step before you become licensed. So I just simply wanted to show you the bag. Here it is. And now let's continue with the next section. The first section is pre-examination setup and disinfection. You have 10 minutes to unpack your general supplies and prepare your work area. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. Okay, you guys, so you know those words. The minute that they say you may begin, that is when you will go into your kit and grab your first bag. Now, we are going to pretend that before the test starts, they have us take out our mannequin. Now, again, if they do not ask you for you to take out your mannequin, then you do not do that. But a lot of times they do have the students take out the mannequin to be inspected. So students, please take out your mannequins. We're going into our kit and here is our mannequin. Now, they're just checking to make sure that your mannequin does not have any type of like writings or markings on it, you guys. I do have my mannequin with the hair clip because the first surface that you're going to perform on the mannequin is the blood exposure. Remember, we're going to use this area. So for that reason, I have the hair clip back. So if they tell you to take out your mannequin, you simply take it out and lay it on the table. Then the rater will come, look at it, inspect it, do what they need to do, and that's it. If they ask you to step to the side, then you simply do that. But other than that, just leave the mannequin right on the table. All right, now we are ready to get our first bag, our pre-examination setup and disinfection bag. Here we go. We're going into our kit. Now remember that all of our bags are labeled. Again, this is what that first bag looks like. And the minute you hear you may begin, that is when we are going to go into our kit and get our first bag out. And what I want you to reach for first is going to be your hand sanitizer. So get your hand sanitizer out, and you're going to sanitize your hands first. After you do that, I want you to get your trash bag out. Remember, if they ask you, is your trash bag labeled? You are going to say yes, because it is. All trash bags must be labeled trash, okay? So there's our trash bag. And next, I want you to get your packaging tape. Make sure that you take a good tape with you, therefore your trash bag does not fall. So we are taping our trash bag next to our station, right on our station. If you need to put your leg out to give you some time to get your tape, I want you guys to get a long piece of tape. And you're going to be taping your trash bag to your station horizontal. Therefore, you get more bag coverage and your trash bag will not fall from your station, okay? So one long piece of tape. Okay, nice. And putting this back into my bag. Next, you guys, you are going to be grabbing your EPA disinfectant bottle along with your paper towels. And now that we have our trash bag taped to our station, we can move forward with disinfecting our workstation. So here we go. Remember that if there is a chair behind you, even if you do not plan on using it, you still want to disinfect that chair. You can now put your bag back down. This is now trash. Remember, anytime you throw something in the trash, you sanitize your hands. We can now continue to take everything else out of our bag. So we have our spray bottle, our water bottle. Again, EPA disinfectant. All of these bottles are labeled. Here's our hand sanitizer. And again, you guys, EPA disinfectant, your water bottle, your hand sanitizer, all of that stays on your station for the remainder of the test. Here is a first aid kit. Many of you guys ask if this is mandatory. Do I need to have it? Listen, this is there for just in case. I hope that none of you guys ever have to use the first aid kit, but in case of an emergency, if you happen to cut yourself one way or another, you have everything you need in here to perform a blood exposure on yourself. So this first aid kit stays on your station, but hopefully none of you guys need to use it. And our paper towels. Some take rolls of paper towels, that is fine. I just simply put the paper towels in a Ziploc bag and it works for me and the students, so that is fine. And that just leaves the original bag along with that tape that we used to tape our trash bag. I then just simply fold it, you guys, and I'm going to put this bag back inside of my kit. I'm a fan of putting things back in my original kit if they are not, you know, obviously trash, like disposable items. So don't be afraid to go in and out of your kit as needed. You just have to make sure that you're sanitizing your hands each time and that your kit remains closed throughout the exam. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in the back of my bag and I'm going to take out my mannequin stand so that I can set my mannequin up before I raise my hand that I am done. So again, back into the kit. Sanitize our hands. Okay, you guys, now a lot of students also consider taking tripods. If that's something that you want to do, I say go for it, it's fine. But again, I'm showing you guys all the steps with using the mannequin clamp because a lot of the students, this is what they use. So again, you know how to work this. Okay, we're just setting it into our work table and tying it from the underneath to make sure that it's nice and secure. Once you have it, You can then reach for your mannequin. Again, we took this mannequin out at the beginning because it was inspected, right, by the raider. That's just us assuming that that's what they want and that that's what they'll do. And that is pretty much it. Once you have your mannequin on there, I want you to really pay close attention to my station. Everything, okay, throughout the entire test, your workstation needs to be as clean as possible, you guys. Do not leave out any trash or leave any open containers. Those are the simple ways that you could possibly get points taken off, and you do not want that to happen. So again, everything is set up. My mannequin is set up. Everything is ready to go. I can now sanitize my hands and raise my hand that I am done. Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed for this section. Thank you. The next section is monomer and polymer over tip service. Please apply a nail tip and monomer and polymer overlay on one nail. You have 32 minutes to complete this section. You may begin. All right, you guys, so right when they say you may begin, you will then continue to a separate work table that will most likely be next to the hair station, where you'll be completing all the hair services. So for this part of the test, we have our monomer over polymer tip service bag. This is what the bag looks like. This bag will more than likely be sitting on the floor, and you will start off by first disinfecting your work table and disinfecting the chair that you will be using for this part of the exam. So let's do that first. We're reaching for our EPA disinfectant. We're reaching for our hand sanitizer, and we are reaching for some paper towels. So once we have that out, let's sanitize our hands first, our hands and wrist. And let's set that to the side, and let's continue to disinfecting our work table, and then of course spraying our chair and cleaning it. They give you plenty of time to do all of this. Once you have done that, here's our hand sanitizer. Here's our EPA disinfectant. I want to make sure that you guys have a good view of everything. Let's reach for our trash bag. Remember that all trash bags must be labeled trash. And so at this point, once you've disinfected the work table, you can have a seat. Once you are sitting, your original bag is on the floor. You reach for your trash bag, and you also have some tape. So we are now going to tape this trash bag to our station. You will probably not see that in the video, but I can show you what that looks like in just a second. But again, I am just taping the bag to the station. Make sure that you're applying that tape horizontal onto the trash bag. Again, I will show you what that looks like here in just a second. And you're not going to be throwing many items into this bag, but either way it goes, you want to make sure that you tape it really nice and secure so that your trash bag does not fall. Once you're done with the tape, this tape can go back into your original bag that is on the floor. So far, that is what the station should look like. Again, we have our hand sanitizer, our EPA disinfectant, our trash bag is taped, and again, our original bag is on the floor. So that's what it looks like once it is taped to your station, just to give you a quick view. Now that we have disinfected the table, we are going to start by sanitizing our hands again, and we are going to start taking out everything that's inside of our bag. So we have our towel, and we're just laying it across the table to lay all of our items on top of. So I just have one towel inside of the bag, along with some paper towels and some absorbent paper towels. So here I am laying the paper towels in the underneath on the side of the towels, you guys can see, and laying one of the paper towels out so that I can lay some of my implement on top of. So we have our nail dehydrator, our acid-free primer, we have our odorless liquid, our powder, we have our double dapping dish, we have our cuticle oil, and as you see here, I'm just simply putting all the products basically in the order that they will be used throughout this part of the test. So we're sanitizing our hands again. We are now going to start taking all the items that are inside of this pre-sanitized implement box. We have some nail tips. Remember that to take at least 3 tips inside of a small bag, you guys. We have a brush, buffer, a nail file. We have our stainless steel cuticle pusher. We have our little practice finger that we're going to be using. Of course, we can't forget about our nail brush. And of course, our nail glue, our adhesive, and a nail trimmer. So we're just setting the box to the side and we are pretty much ready to go, you guys. Sanitizing our hands before we actually get started. So right away, we're not going to waste any time and we're going to start off by buffing the natural nail gently to remove shine. I highly recommend that you actually take this nail already pre-buffed so you don't have to buff as much the day of the test. Next, we are going to grab our cuticle pusher and we are going to push the cuticles back. Once done, you can place your cuticle pusher inside of your implement box. We are now ready to select the tip that fits the natural nail. So here are all my nail tips. Again, you only need to take about 3 with you. And just to let you guys know, the tips that I found come pretty close to a good fit for our practice finger have been the number 4, 5, and 6. But yes, of course, you're going to have to file the sides a little bit, and my suggestion to you guys is to make sure that the tips that are inside of the bag actually all fit the nail so that you do not have to file anything additional the day of the test. This will save you a lot of time. So after finding the perfect fit, we then move forward to applying our nail dehydrator. And we are now ready to apply adhesive to the well of the tip. Now, I want to make sure I tell you to please take a nail glue, a nail adhesive that is strong. You want to be sure to take something that is going to work and get that tip adhered, okay, glued on to the little plastic finger. Because it is plastic, obviously it will take a little bit longer for it to attach, so you have to have patience. And again, I'm here just rocking this nail tip into place, and ladies and gentlemen, hold on to it. You have to hold it for at least a minute or 2. Don't let go, because you want to make sure that it gets attached and it doesn't come off. Once the nail tip has dried and you know it's on there, sanitize your hands, and then you are ready to move on into trimming and cutting this nail tip. I'm just using your traditional nail trimmer. Notice how I'm holding on to the nail tip at the top as I am trimming. Now, try to not leave this nail tip extremely long, but also not too short. I find that if you leave it a little too short, you will have a harder time applying your monomer and polymer on it. So leave it a nice good length, easier for you to work with. So we've done just that. We can now put our nail trimmer back into our implement box. And of course, you're seeing me sanitize my hands, a lot. And again, putting away anything that you no longer need is key. Keeping your station nice and clean is extremely important. Now that we have trimmed our nail tip, you guys, we're now trying to blend this tip into the natural nail. So I'm using the buffer. We're trying to move in one direction only, and you will see me go back and forth between the buffer and the nail file. Use whatever is needed to try to get the shape and everything going nicely for you. If this is a part of the test that you are a bit nervous about, I highly recommend that you practice as much as possible. Time yourself so that you can see that definitely the allowed time is plenty for you to complete this section of the exam. But practice, memorize the steps if needed, watch this video as many times, create flashcards if needed to help you prepare and feel more comfortable. Now that we have blended the tip to the natural nail, it is okay to touch it to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. We've come to a stop, sanitizing our hands, and we are now ready to apply the primer to the natural nail. I'm now ready to grab one of the absorbent paper towels that I have under my towel, and I'm simply going to fold it, and I'm going to start prepping by grabbing my dap-in dish along with my polymer and my monomer, and I'm going to start dispensing the product into my dap-in dish. And again, here I am just setting everything up, getting everything ready for the actual application. I will be doing the 3-bead method for the application, and so just to remind you that you do not need a whole lot of product being dispensed into your double dap-in dish. As you can see, you need very little liquid along with powder. Here's a quick view of the nail brush that I will be using. And you guys, now that we have everything ready to go, we're going to go ahead and sanitize our hands, and we are going to start. So like I mentioned earlier, I am doing the 3-bead method, and so I am dipping the brush into our liquid first just to make sure we get those bristles nice and wet, and then we are going to go into our powder and slide that brush across to get a small bead. Once you are ready, you can apply the first bead not too close to the cuticle area of the nail. After trying to smooth this out, you guys, I went ahead and then grabbed my second bead, and I will be placing it to the center area of the nail, followed by the third and final bead being applied close to the free edge of the nail. And I just want to point out that yes, of course, you can absolutely start by applying your first bead on the free edge of the nail, then working yourself towards the center, and then applying your last and final bead close to the cuticle area. Now, I wanted to make this video a little bit shorter and more simple. So I hope this helps you kind of get a better feeling for this section of the exam. But if you want to check out the other video that I have that will be a little bit more thorough and watch me apply starting from the free edge of the nail, working myself up, then you're more than welcome to do so as well. Also, just a quick tip, make sure that your brush does not have too much monomer or also not enough monomer. Just having the right amount of monomer will help you drag the brush on your polymer powder and be able to get that perfect bead. So Once again, here I am applying that second bead on the center area of our nail. And lastly, you will see me apply towards the free edge of the nail. You have to go back and forth, you guys, and really try to work that brush back and forth, trying to really smooth the area out as much as possible. Is it going to be perfect? No, it's not. It's not going to be perfect. I always say, if I can do it, so can you. So just practice, try to go over the steps. Everything will be okay. But here I am, just trying to get it as smooth as possible for you guys. And I hope that this is helping you understand the procedures a little bit better. You will have to come to a stopping point at some point to give this nail some time to dry. So here I am just taking some of that excess liquid off my brush using that paper towel that everything was sitting on, and I'm simply going to fold it and use it to absorb any leftover monomer that is inside of our dappen dish. And I'm just making sure I get all that out, and now that is going into my trash along with my brush. Of course, anytime you go in the trash, remember to sanitize your hands right after. So once you've done that, you guys, it's waiting. Okay, we are going to wait. It is time to wait and let this nail dry. Remember that you are using odorless product, and it takes a little bit longer to dry, but you must be patient. Once you have touched your nail tip and you could feel that it is dry, now I want to remind you guys that odorless product does feel a little bit sticky on the nail, and it creates this tacky film over it. So once you feel like your nail is dry, I want you guys to pick up your nail file and start moving in one direction only on the top of the nail to get that tacky sticky film off of it, and then you can start working the file, the buffer, to really try to smooth out the shape of your nail and give it a great look for the end. While I give this nail a great shape, let's review what we've done so far. So we started off by setting up the manicure table, sanitizing our hands, and we buffed the natural nail gently to remove shine. We then move forward by pushing the cuticles back using our cuticle pusher. Then we selected a nail tip to fit the natural nail. After that, we prepare the nail for service by applying dehydrator, and we then applied adhesive to the well of the tip. We applied our nail tip and we let it dry. We of course blended it to the natural nail and we trimmed it to a good size. After that, you guys, we moved on to applying primer to the natural nail. We started getting our dappen dishes ready with our monomer and polymer. We then continued to apply the 3B method. This go round, I started closer to the cuticle, moved down to the center, and then to the free edge. Once we did that, of course, we have to wait for this product to dry, and we are now buffing and shaping the nail and waiting to give it some great shine using some cuticle oil. Here you've seen me use this nail brush to get all the residue, you guys, that is usually left after buffing and filing. And so I'm now putting all of this away into my implement box, throwing that into the trash, sanitizing my hands, and like I said, we are now ready to give it a little bit of shine. We're just using cuticle oil for this part. After applying the cuticle oil, you are pretty much at the last part of this section, and once you've done that, you can simply put your finger to the side and start that cleanup process. So what does that mean? At this point, we are simply going to start putting everything away into our original bag and start disinfecting our work table. So here's our bag right here, and I'm simply going to start putting everything back inside of my bag and disinfecting the table. Because many of you guys are probably wondering, okay, so what do I do next? What do I do with my bag? So you guys, once you have disinfected the table, you're going to put everything back into its original bag, and that includes the trash bag. Then once all done, you will walk over to your other station, and that big original bag where your monomer and polymer products are in can go into your kit. Okay, it can go into your kit. But once you are done here disinfecting everything, that is when you will raise your hand that you are done. Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed for this section. Thank you. You guys, this is it, and here is the nail. This is what it looks like. Not too bad, not too bad. Of course it could be way better, but I'm not too worried. I know yours will be way better than mine. Remember to practice as much as possible. Try not to be so nervous. Everything will be great. Just make sure you have everything that you need for this section of your test. And of course, that is it, you guys. I hope you found it helpful, and let's move on to the next section. The next section is blood exposure incident service. Please perform procedure for a blood exposure incident. You have 12 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 6 minutes remaining. You may begin. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sanitize our hands first, and then we go into our kit and reach for our blood exposure bag. This is what our blood exposure bag looks like, and remember that for this part of the test, we're gonna use the mannequin to do the blood exposure. So there should be 2 paper towels in your blood exposure kit. So we are going to grab the first paper towel. We have our EPA disinfectant, and we are going to sanitize our work station, okay? Then you can set your bag down. This is now trash. Anytime you throw something in the trash, you sanitize your hands. All right, second paper towel. We're going to take out the second paper towel, and we're going to open it up and lay it out in front of us. In this bag, there's actually 3 paper towels. The first one to clean when you first start, the second one to lay all your items, and the third one, I set it to the side. We're gonna use that to disinfect at the very end. After that, you guys go ahead and start taking out everything that you have inside of that original bag. We have our double bags. We have our first aid blood exposure kit, and we have some gloves, okay? Remember, this bag, fold it and set it right next to you. Now, your working station is not gonna be extremely large, but it'll be enough for everything to fit. So once you have everything laid out, you can then continue by first putting on your gloves. So first put on your gloves, always. And then go into your white box where you have all the items that you need for this section, which are your alcohol wipes, a Band-Aid, and a gauze. Those are the only 3 things that you need. Again, a gauze, alcohol pad, and a Band-Aid, okay? All right, once you have everything out, again, these double bags, make sure that they're nice and open. Everything during this part of the test is going to go inside of the double bags. Do not throw anything into your original bag, or else that will be points taken off. So we are going to be using the forehead of our mannequin to perform the blood exposure incident. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to reach for our gauze, and we're going to tear it, of course. Set the wrapping paper to the side. We're going to throw it away in just a second, okay? We are going to dispose of it, but we're going to grab our gauze and we are going to apply pressure to our simulated cut, okay? We're just pretending, obviously. So we're applying pressure, applying pressure, applying pressure to the cut. Okay, once you do that for a few seconds, you will then grab the gauze you just used along with the wrapping paper, and you're going to dispose of it into the double bags. Okay, once you've done that, sanitize your hands again. Even though you're wearing gloves, you still sanitize your hands. Next, we have our alcohol pad. We are now ready to clean that cut, right? So we go in here and then grab our little alcohol wipe. and we clean the cut. And we do the exact same thing we did earlier. We grab our alcohol, our wrapping paper, that goes into the double bags. Yes, you're gonna get tired of sanitizing your hands, but that's okay. That's what the raiders want to see, so that's what they'll get. And lastly, you have your Band-Aid, okay? So with the Band-Aid, we're going to just open it up and apply it to our simulated cut. We're leaving the wrapping paper there. Get the two ends here and place it right onto that cut and hold it for a few seconds. You just applied alcohol to the forehead so the skin is wet. It's easy for the Band-Aid to try to roll off, so just make sure that you hold on to it for a few seconds. Then grab all your wrapping paper and that goes into the double bags. All right, nice. Okay, well, we're not done just yet. Once you've done that, I want you to grab that little white box with that paper towel and just wrap it. And this is going to go inside of your double bags. Now, let me just point out, do you have to take a little white box? You do not, okay? But if you do happen to take a box that looks like mine, I want you to do just this. Wrap it and then put it inside of the double bags, okay? But you're not done just yet. Remember that third paper towel? We're gonna use the third paper towel to disinfect our station one last time. So we're disinfecting our workstation. Then you guys, you grab your gloves, okay? And your gloves, along with that paper towel you just disinfected the station with, also goes in the double bags, okay? Make sure all of that is closed. You can easily then throw this bag inside of that original bag, okay? Close it. Now this now goes into your large trash bag. You sanitize your hands one last time. And then that is when you raise your hand that you are done. Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed for this section. Thank you. All right, you guys, so that concludes the first 3 sections of the Texas Cosmetology practical exam. I hope you are finding all of these videos helpful and all of the information. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and if you are new, consider subscribing. You guys, let's keep going. Hey, let's keep growing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.